my oldest was diagnosed in fourth grade. Well, it came to be in his fourth grade, the teacher started to realize he's not really focusing the way he should be, but he managed it. He secretly managed it. And they say that around fourth grade is when you start to learn new things. And that's when you can't fake it anymore. Like that's when you can't just look over and say, what page are we on? Type of thing. And so in fourth grade, the teachers start to see things a little bit more clearly. So in fourth grade, we kind of got that, but okay, no biggie. He's a little daydreamy. Okay. And then middle school started in fifth grade. And that's when he started to have some anger and depression. And what does depression look like in a fifth grader and a sixth grader? For my son, it was, he refused to go to school. He would no longer just get in the car to go to school. Like, just get in the car, like it's time for school. It became more and more difficult to get him out the door. His ideas were more like, oh, another day of school. I'll do school for 12 years and then I'll go to work for the rest of my life. Like he was seeing it is depressing and it is real life, but not for a fourth or fifth grader. So school refusal was the big one for us. And so when he started to get into trouble with refusing to go, or when he got to school, he would try to leave, which, the principal really doesn't appreciate when all the kids aren't where they're supposed to be. So, so that was when we really had to, it wasn't even an option to kind of say, oh, maybe something's going on. Nope. We were in that principal's office and it was clear, this is serious. And then as things even started to progress from there, he was very verbal, thank God, and very open to say, I don't feel like being here anymore. And he started with say threatening things that scared the crap out of my husband and I. So that made it pretty easy for us to say, okay, this is serious. We need to get help.
Well, what kind of things would he say that scared you? Can I ask? Because I know that there's a listener saying, well, what does that mean? What are threatening things? Yeah.
Absolutely. So for my oldest, it was, life just isn't worth it. If this is what it's going to be, then I don't want to be here. Or he would say, outright, he would say, I should just kill myself. And, kids will say that. And I know that it is never, something that you want to ignore, but your kid. Yeah. This was something we knew that he was troubled enough. It got to the point where I was afraid. I didn't want him in my house in a sense, because I had to keep an constant eye on him. Like what if he was in his bedroom playing Legos? Is he in his bedroom playing Legos? I would have to kind of open the door a little bit and just check in. And the pressure was so great that we couldn't live like that. It was just too scary. So we got help immediately for him. And that really looked like, well, there were a couple of trips to the ER, which didn't really do much, to be honest. But with that, we finally got him on medication and some real diagnoses. The depression came immediately, but then after, we started going to therapy, because I kind of believe if you're on medication, therapy they should kind of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. So we made him go to therapy. And with that, we started to learn more and more: depression, anxiety, ADHD. It all kind of just leveled up, and it made a lot of things more clear for us, for sure. And interestingly enough, as he was going through that, my second son did the exact same thing. I mean, in fourth grade, he started to refuse to go to school. And it was crazy because we're like, what? No, not you. Not you. You're not that,
Oh, man.
It was
I would be in denial too.
Yes, it was not, yeah, we're okay. I mean, he had his own issues, we knew. My second son, God love him, he went from my cute cuddly to, at a very young age, I want to say 2 or 3, we thought they were the terrible 2s and then the tough 3s, but they just kept happening. And he was a really volatile, an angry little boy for someone who, at 3 shouldn't really have that much to be angry about. We would walk on eggshells around our 3-year-old and then even 4 or 5. I mean, he was tough, and he was tough in a way that we were like, oh my God, you go talk to him. Oh, he needs something. You go. No, you go, because he was really hard. And then as he got older, his symptoms took a different turn. They took a violent turn. So where my oldest went inward, in a sense, and was thinking about hurting himself, my second son was going outward and he was hurting others. Mostly me, mom. And we learned from that I'm going to love him no matter what. So let me take it on a mom kind of thing.
Great,
so
thanks.
Yeah, exactly. I need this. So he became violent, and aggressive, and like, I would have never called it verbal abuse at the time because this is my child, this is my son now. But I would say he was verbally abusive and physically abusive. But guess what? When you're 6 and 7 and 8, I can handle that. I'm still so much bigger than you are. He's now 13. And when he was 11, he gained a lot of weight from one of the medications, and it was not as easy. So we knew we had our work cut out for us with that. And then so with his anger, we were taking him to therapy very early on, and nothing was working. And we brought him to a new therapist, a man. We thought, this will work. It's a male. This is going to help. And he wouldn't. We were driving to the therapist, and my second son was flipping out. I don't want to go, and you're an idiot, and you're stupid, and throwing like booster seats while I'm driving, booster seats at me. And somehow I was also videoing this because I wanted the doctor to see. I needed somebody else to witness this, because if my friend down the street came over, that's not what she was seeing. This was between he and I. So I brought the video to the therapist. My son wouldn't get out of the car. I showed it to the therapist, and he said, this boy needs to go to a neurologist immediately. He can't be in therapy when he's not even there. We will not be able to have a conversation with him. So thanks to him, I said, oh, okay. We went to a neurologist, and he got immediately diagnosed with ADHD, which I thought, oh, no, he doesn't have a focus issue. He's an excellent student. There's no issues in school. Thank you, sir. But look again at this video, type of thing. And that's where I learned that there's different types of ADHD, and it's not just about focus, but there's this impulsive side that I didn't know about. I didn't know that ADHD could mean that you are angry and volatile and uncontrollable. That was never in my wheelhouse. So
yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that.
No, I would have never ever put that together. So when he got medicated, he was working to get medicated, and through the medication, he was then able to get the therapy, because he was then able to at least acknowledge some of those feelings. So that was my number 2.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Janla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.